if you work on your laptop, you know how frustrating it is to only have one screen to use. And most of the time, lugging around another external monitor or two is not an option. And maybe you like to game sometime. Maybe you want to work and game at the same time. That's what this triple monitor setup by FQQ allows you to do. So in this video, we're going to go over all the features. I'm going to set it up so you guys can see it in action. And then by the end of the video, you're going to know whether or not this setup is right for you. Now this whole setup all folded up is not much thicker than a regular laptop, and it does come with this nice little sleeve that is lined with a nice soft material to keep your monitors all safe when you're not using them. Now this monitor setup is made to work with most 15 to 17 inch monitors. It will not work with the MacBook M1 or M2 or Microsoft Surface. Now, if you have a MacBook M1 Pro or M1 Max, it will work. It just will not work with the regular M1 or M2. Here we have a couple of screen protectors that come in the box, which is pretty nice. And here are the monitors themselves. As you can see, like I said before, all folded up. They are not thick at all. Makes it very easy to carry around in your book bag. Now, both these monitors are 1080p IPS displays, and they're 15 inches, which is really nice. Here are the cables that it comes with. Has a couple USB Type-C to USB Type-C cables. It does come with a power adapter. Now, the only time you're really going to need to use this is if whatever you're connecting it up to doesn't have enough power to power the monitors. We also have two USB-A's to USB Type-C's for power. We have two mini HDMI's to regular HDMI cables. Here we have some rubber caps that you can put onto the monitor to help increase stability. A little wipe, and a cable tie, and our user guide. Now, most of the devices that use USB 3.1 will be able to power these monitors, but just in case you do have the extra power source, and if you want to game with things like the Nintendo Switch, that uses USB Type-C, but you will need an external power source to use the monitors with that gaming system. So that's it for the box. Let's take a look at the monitors. So those little rubber pieces that I showed you before, they actually go on the little ends of the monitor. So if we take a look at the monitor here, as you can see, there is a USB symbol, a battery symbol, and a HDMI symbol. You want to make sure that you always connect the USB symbols to your computer, and the battery is for the external power. Here we have our menu button and our plus and minus buttons. This setup does not come with built-in speakers, so you will need to use the speakers on your laptop. This whole setup is made of plastic, but it does feel pretty stable, and I don't feel like it's just going to come apart. So for this demonstration, we're going to be using my MacBook Pro. This is the 16-inch version. Now note that I do have a case on my MacBook Pro. For this particular case, I don't need to take it off to use this monitor setup, but if you're using a case, the only way to know if it's going to work or not is to actually try it out. Now the setup on this monitor system is really easy. All you need to do is simply pull it apart just like that, then extend the monitors out. Then if we take a look at the front of the setup, we have these spring-loaded tabs on the top here, and then we also have these plastic tabs on the bottom that don't move. So you need to make sure you place these first, then we'll place the spring-loaded tabs over the top of the monitor. So just simply take your setup like this, put it on the back of your screen, push it together, again making sure those tabs on the bottom go over your screen, and then just kind of push down on the top. The spring-loaded tabs will fit over your screen, and there you go. Once you're done doing that, we're going to come to the back. We're going to extend our little stand here. All I need to do is press this button in, pull out on that little stand, and you can adjust this accordingly to the angle that you want your screen at. And that little stand here will account for the weight of the whole monitor and not put any stress on your hinges of your monitor screen. Now let's go over the specs of the monitors really quick. Now these are full 1920 by 1080p LCD IPS panels. They can do 16 by 9 or 4 by 3 aspect ratios. The brightness is 220 to 300 CDM. They have 1,000:1 contrast ratio. They also have an anti-glare screen, so they have like a matte look to them. The color gamut is about 70%. The response time is 25 milliseconds to 30 milliseconds, and the frequency is 60 Hertz. Now you can hook these monitors up to any device that you want that uses USB Type-C or the HDMI. You can hook it up to your laptop, you can hook it up to your desktop, you can hook it up to a gaming system. They have multiple uses. Now again, this is the MacBook Pro with the M1 Max chip, so it can take advantage of multiple screens. And if you're using this setup, we're going to be connecting the USB Type-C cables. When you connect them to your MacBook, you need to make sure that you connect the USB connection and not the one that has the little battery symbol on it. And then just simply plug the other end into your USB Type-C. We'll do the same thing for the left side. All right, so now we have both of the monitors all hooked up to the MacBook Pro. As you can see, I'm not using any external power source. I'm simply just using the two USB Type-Cs, and it's powering the monitors just fine. I do also have the monitors up to its full brightness, so this is pretty much as bright as it's going to get, and it's actually pretty bright in my studio as well, and you can still see the monitors. So as you can see, I can easily move my pages from one screen to the other, and they translate seamlessly. So now with this triple monitor setup, I can easily work on my Final Cut Pro videos in the middle screen. I can use my Photoshop off to the right here, and I can browse a web page if I need to on the left. Now I'm sure you guys can see the same thing that I can, how clear both of these monitors actually are. They're 1080p, and yet you can still easily see small text, and you can easily work on Photoshop without any issues. You can very clearly see all the pixels, so there's no problems there. Color representation also looks to be pretty good as well. Now let's take a look at our on-screen settings. Here we can change our brightness, contrast, black level sharpness. We have our signal source, our blue light filter, HDR mode, reset, our on-screen display. You can change the color temperature, and we also can change the image, our dynamic contrast ratio, and our aspect ratio. Now you can also change the settings for each one of these monitors independently. So you can have one setting over here and another setting over here, and they won't interfere with each other. You can also turn one of the monitors off and just leave the other one on if you want to as well. The monitors will also power off with your device using the USB Type-C, and if you're using an external power source, the monitors will also go to sleep if they don't detect an input signal. So now we're going to test out the contrast ratio and the viewing angles. Okay, so it's pretty dark in my studio right now, and as you can see, the monitors look even better now. You can definitely see them much easier. Again, everything looks super clear. Even the things that are really small, like the text, you can very easily see with these monitors. Okay, so here I have a totally black image just to show you what the contrast ratio is like. Now on my camera, I see like some blooming over in the right hand side here and then a little bit on the left hand side, but I don't see that as much in real life. Now again, I do have the brightness turned up all the way to 100%, and I don't have the dynamic contrast ratio turned on. I'm going to turn that on right now and let you see what a difference it makes. Now, as you just saw, the brightness did turn down on the screen, and the blooming that we saw in the right-hand corner has definitely subsided. But again, in real life, I don't see that on the screen. The screen looks pretty evenly black to me. I don't see the blooming that the camera's picking up. All I see is the little white cursor in the center of the screen here. I definitely think the contrast ratio for these monitors is good, and I don't think you're going to have any issues when you're using it in a darker environment. Now, when you bring something back up on the screen that is brighter, the dynamic contrast ratio automatically adjusts for that and makes the screen a little brighter. I think the monitors look absolutely amazing. So now let's check out the viewing angles. So now we're looking at the screen pretty much dead on, and I'll move it in just a little bit here. There is a point to where it can't go in anymore, and that's pretty much it. As you can see, the screen does not dim down. You can pretty much see it almost 180 degrees. So the viewing angles on this monitor are also excellent. So now I'm going to show you how easy it is to use a gaming system with one of these monitors. Here I have my Nintendo Switch that does use a USB Type-C, but it doesn't have enough power to power itself up along with the monitor, so you're going to need to use an external power source. So here I have a power bank that we can use so we can keep everything portable. We'll plug that USB Type-C connection into the port that shows the battery. As you can see, the monitor did power on. Now we're going to plug in the USB Type-C that I unplugged from the MacBook into our Nintendo Switch, and it should show up on the monitor. And there you go. Another really cool thing, when you have the external power source plugged into the monitor, it also powers and charges your Nintendo Switch as well. So on your main screen of your computer, you can do some work, and you can also game as well. And as you can see, it is displaying 1080p at 60 Hz. Just keep in mind again that these monitors do not have any speakers built in, so you will need to use an external speaker or some headphones when you're gaming. And again, if you're going to use the HDMI port, you're definitely going to need some sort of external power source. But it works just the same way as this setup here. These monitors also have an anti-glare coating, so you don't have to worry about any reflections. These monitors can also fold in a pretty good amount as well. The left one stops right about there because of the way that these fold up, but the right one can pretty much almost go all the way in. And if you're using with a laptop or a MacBook that supports the USB Type-C power, as you can see, you can keep everything totally portable. This is by far one of the best setups for productivity. If you work on the go and you don't want to carry around a lot of bulky monitors with you, this is the easiest way to go. I would definitely recommend picking this up. You can easily transition from one screen to the next without hardly even moving your head. The screens are nice and clear, and they're also slim enough so you can easily put them in your book bag along with your laptop. Now, if you guys want to pick this up, I will be putting links in the video description. And if you guys are interested in power bank reviews, click on the video link on the screen right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell to let you guys know when I put out new videos. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.